All right, we're good to go?
We're ready now. Thanks.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of the FlappCast, Behind the Funny, where we find out what goes on behind the scenes of a comedy club. I'm your host, Barbara Holliday, and filling in for my usual co-host, Joshua Snyder, who's on vacation, is the fabulous booker of flappers, Richy Leis. And comedian.
The other Jew.
The other Jew, yeah.
The other white Jew.
The bald Jew. And our very, very special guest today, who is headlining the Yoo-Hoo Room this Friday and Saturday. Please welcome Jiffy Wild.
Thank you.
Look, I timed that exactly on the music.
Yeah,
What
that's
the
crazy.
hell? Wow.
You've done that before, haven't you?
Just, you know.
You're like a radio DJ.
Right,
You
right.
stressed words to make it
Thank
fit.
you, thank you. I didn't use my sexy voice, though. Jiffy Wild! Oh my gosh, Jiffy is from Chelsea Lately, and then of course After Lately, and then isn't there going to be a new one like After Lately here?
I think
Whatever.
it's done unless it's going to be on Netflix lately
Right?
next year. Yeah, Chelsea's going over to Netflix, so I don't know. Maybe I'll be on that. Maybe I won't. I don't know.
How did you?
What about Before Jiffy? Why don't we
Before
call
Jiffy?
Yeah, write a show called
Yeah, we should
Before
do
Jiffy.
like the Star Wars. We should just go back now
Yeah,
and just
the
make all the
prequels.
crappy ones.
What about
Yeah.
Jiffy Jam? Jiffy and Jam. Where did you get this name, Jiffy? What is this? Tell us.
That's
Tell
a problem because I have like a lot of
It's Jeff.
Jeff is my name, yeah, but Chelsea gave me the name Jiffy probably 5 years ago, and it's kind of one of those things when someone gives you a nickname, you just
Take
kinda,
it.
especially if they're paying you, you kind of have to take it. Usually you can say, I don't think so. No one's called me Jiffy, but Chelsea did, so
I
it's
could
stuck.
imagine Chelsea could have picked something worse.
She probably could have, and it was a term of endearment for her. You know, so it was a nice thing, and it seems a little like childish, you know, for a 35-year-old man, you know, with kids and everything. But now, like, people that are fans of Chelsea Lately know me as Jiffy, so when I'm out on the road or something, it's Jiffy is like how I'm called up on stage, and it's just, I think people that don't know me are like, why would you be named Jiffy? Like, that's so stupid, you know?
I think she gave you a blessing, actually, because it's really memorable.
I guess it's memorable, yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows Jiffy
There's no
Wild.
Jiffy comics.
No, it's like, and
There are Jeffs.
Right, everyone's a Jeff, and
Yeah.
so you stand out, Jiffy.
I was thinking about changing my name to Jeff.
You look like a Jeff. A Jewish
Jiffy
Jeff.
Leis.
Jiffy
Let's try
Leis.
that.
Jiffy
Jiffy Leis.
Yes.
No, it's not very
Jiffy
Jewish.
Leisberg.
Jiffy's not a very Jewish nickname, is it? It's more like a little. It's almost like a kid's.
Jeff isn't very
Do your kids
Jewy.
call you Jiffy?
No.
Daddy Jiffy?
No, they really
Like
don't.
Papa Jiffy?
No, but some of my friends who have kids call me Jiffy Jeff.
Oh, that's fun.
Sons of bitches.
So now that Chelsea has moved on and everything, what's in the deal for you? What's up for you? With
Well, she's doing Netflix. That I think it starts probably this time next year. That she's going to do another late night show, and it'll be like the first late night show of Netflix. So it's a pretty big, exciting. Again, she's kind of like breaking new
I'm looking
ground.
forward to seeing the format. You know, how do you do that on something where they release a whole season?
Well, I don't know if I don't know if they will release a whole season. Maybe they'll release one and it'll be up for a week, and then they'll release another one. I actually don't know, but that's a good question. But I think the thing is, like, nobody watches live anyways anymore. You know, like,
Netflix is amazing. Can I just say, like, marathon TV viewing without commercials? It's the best.
It's also the worst. Like, I
I'm
haven't left
addicted.
my house for 5 months.
Really? I'm
on
on
season
Breaking.
20 of Californication.
I'm doing Breaking
David
Bad right
Duchovny
now.
is actually a good actor by now. It's unbelievable.
I know, it does grow on you the more you watch it. You're like, yeah, all right, this works, this works.
I'm so far behind on TV.
You don't know any of these?
No.
See, well, it's just like at 2 a.m, right? When you can't sleep,
Yeah.
you turn on the Netflix
Exactly.
and you keep watching until you fall asleep.
Well, I have kids, so I always can sleep. Like, I have no problem.
Oh, you take every minute. So you're married.
Married, 2 kids,
How old are your kids?
4 and 1.
Oh no, I don't hear you talk about them much.
Really?
Have I?
No, I would say half of my material is marriage, half is kids, and the other half is not very good at math.
Right.
Half random shit. You know.
Are the kids funny? Do they want to get into the comedy? Have they seen?
You know what? My son, the 4-year-old, is actually. I mean, I know every parent probably says my kid's pretty funny. My kid is pretty funny. He was on Chelsea lately a few times on the round table.
What?
Yeah, he like crushed way more than me. Not
kid,
as
right?
fair because anyone's gonna laugh at a 4-year-old. Well, he was on when he was 2, when he was 3, and when he was 4.
Oh,
I thought it was
bragger,
pretty cool. It was his own
bragger.
thing, right?
Yes, no, he did way better than me, but I think he kind of had a thing at least. Like, it wasn't fair.
It was funny because there was a couple of young kids, and then Josh Wolf has like an older child.
On Father's Day, what we did is we had a Father's Day roundtable where 3 comics with their kids on their laps. And my buddy Josh Wolf had his son on his lap, but his son's like 16. So it was like these like toddlers and then there's like 2 grown men.
God, you look so young. You don't look
Oh my
like
God,
you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel old.
You don't have to tell us your age. I was just.
I'm 35.
Kind of
He's-
I know.
Yeah, I'm not.
You'd say it out
I am. I don't hear that very often.
Yeah, but you have a youthful appearance
Got
and
that good
playfulness
skin.
on stage. I think that's what I remember most about you.
Oh,
watching
thanks.
you is you're very silly, and I think people are surprised. Like people who've seen you here have said to me after, "Oh, who's that guy?" Like you're the guy who's up and coming that people don't really necessarily. I mean, they've seen you on Chelsea, but like as a stand-up, I don't know.
I am.
that you-
I've only been doing stand-up for a few years.
Right.
So I am very new in the stand-up world. And
You
I
were
think-
an actor first.
Well, I did. Yeah. I don't even like calling myself an actor. But yes, I
It's
got
weird,
paid to do
yeah.
acting,
Right.
but I don't really consider myself an actor. I was kind of a writer first that fell into acting and then fell into stand-up. But I was a comedy writer, so
Oh,
it was kind
and-
of like my buddies who were all like headlining comics that I worked with were like, oh, like I'm going to a club. There's no point in me getting a random feature, so why don't you just come? I'm like, well, I don't do comedy. That's why I don't come. And they're like, I don't care. I'm like, well, I don't have a set, and I'll bomb. And they go, well, we don't care.
We want you to bomb in front
Yeah.
of us. Perfect.
Yeah, my buddy Josh, the first time I went out with him was my worst heckle experience of my life, by the way.
Oh,
too.
tell us. We
Oh
love
my
these
God,
stories.
it was the worst.
These are the good
Well,
ones.
backstage, we were in Vegas. So this is like other than open mics in LA, I hadn't done maybe.
Had you done a couple shows here before you went?
No. This was like I had maybe done like maybe 45 minutes worth of time, spanned out over like 10 open mics.
Right.
And so then I was in Vegas, for like in front of like 400 or 500 people or something. And
Drunk, fat, white people. Perfect.
Yes,
Love
and the
it.
wheelchairs and the respirators, and
Awesome.
smoking. Yes, great, wonderful
Big
cross section
fans.
of America.
Fans
yeah,
of Jiffy.
they don't give a shit who's up there. They just like don't want to lose money for a second.
At my buffet.
And the people that run the place don't even want you. They're like, as soon as you guys have to be done in an hour and a half, so they can get back out there and lose more money. It's like I'm like, why do you even bring us here? Like they just like, but
We said entertainment on the flyer for the casino.
I know, right? It's just like
Yeah.
there must be some kind of write-off or something. And backstage, I told Josh, I'm like, dude, I was like, what if I just go out there and totally bomb, and it just like ruins the show? And he said, Josh has been doing it for 20 plus years, so he was like, dude, like I don't care, like whatever you do out there, you can go out there and do whatever you want. I'm still gonna crush. So like I don't care. Like,
I don't know if that's
Go-
encouraging.
no, it actually was because I was kind of like, well, if he doesn't care.
Nobody cares about me.
And I don't care. And it was actually, the first show was actually like amazing, which it usually does go that way where like, like, oh my God, I can do this.
Oh, I'm a star.
This is easy.
Everyone loves me.
Yeah, it was great. The second show, worst heckle experience of my life. I mean, it was like, I wasn't even bombing. Like, I wasn't doing great, but I wasn't like bombing. Like, I was doing more music at the time, so it's like, it's hard to bomb with music because it's
Right.
kind of like,
You get
people are
applause
like, well, at least
break
I'm
after
like, yeah, you get an applause break.
He's
People are at
talented.
least like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
he's entertaining us.
Right.
You're not just like bombing jokes. But there's this guy in the front that was just super, super wasted. And I was maybe like 6 minutes into like a, 15 or 20 minute set. And, he's already kind of like yelling stupid shit like, like, when you like set up a joke and then he'd be like, don't believe it.
Oh,
You know, like,
yeah.
what? And then
Thank you for
and then
that. Thank you.
he like, he was just like already gone, and then he started doing like the heckles that you don't like you read about or like this. So he started being like, "Fuck you! This guy fucking sucks. Where's Josh?" And I was like, "Dude, you know how shows work. Like he's coming out in like 15 minutes. Like,
Chill.
go to the bathroom and I'll be gone by the time you get out. Like, you know how a show works. Like, relax, just go have a drink, or maybe don't have a drink. I don't know. But he's just like, and then he stands up and he's flipping me off, like literally just saying, "Fuck you, you suck, this sucks."
And
like,
no one was getting him.
no, because I kind of did suck. So no. management. No, it was you know, it was the Wild West in Vegas.
Who cares?
And then-
There's some drinks.
Yeah.
So then I kind of get angry and I snap and I start playing my guitar and I'm just like, "Fuck you, you suck too." And then all of a sudden the crowd erupted.
Crazy.
So I'm like, I got him, I won. But then I feel like a little tap on my back, and Josh had walked out on stage. So they were cheering him. And then he took the mic from me, and he's like, so he's amazing at this. So he just ruined the guy. Got him like dragged out, kicking and screaming. The crowd was like dying laughing because he just like put him in his place so well. And then he gave me the mic back and said,
Go finish.
"Continue." Yeah. And then he left, and then the room's quiet, and I'm like, so I have a kid. Like, I mean, no one gives a shit anymore. Like, who cares? You know, I'll finish this 12 minutes I have left and then die.
Wow, that's an interesting first experience.
Yeah, I can't believe I did it again.
Do you remember one of your first jokes, or what was a song you were doing? Because you wanted to rely on. I love the stuff you do with the guitar.
Thanks. You know what? It wasn't even like and it was everything that went wrong could have gone. Like during one of my songs, the house played Josh's walk-on music.
Oh,
So it was like, I was playing like this acoustic song, and all of a sudden, AC/DC Black and Black came on. It was like, I'm like looking around, like, is that supposed to happen? And everybody's like, what the fuck? This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Like, he's just like losing, he's unraveling. And I didn't know what I was doing, and I was unraveling, and it was terrible.
That's pretty awesome that you got to do that in Vegas, though, for your first time.
Yeah, nobody would ever know about it unless I told it
it.
on a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we get
I've been doing this
the
for
Ha Ha
over a
Cafe.
decade. I haven't done Vegas.
What was your
That's-
first time?
My first
Comedy. Richy,
comedy. I was gonna say that hasn't happened
Really?
yet. My first time in comedy was crap. It was a cafe, just in Philly, outside of Philly.
Well, my first time was like Silver Lake Lounge. You know, like
Right.
But
The
I do.
real
my first real
Yeah,
guest
my real
spot was
first
in front of
time.
Steve Byrne at the Improv in Hard Rock
No.
in Florida, and because we were friendly, and he gave me a 3-minute guest spot when I first moved to Florida. I was like, "You sure about this?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't care." And it was the worst 3 minutes of my life. I got heckled like 10 seconds into it. This lady
man.
saying how she wanted to fuck me. And it was like an older lady, and I was like so embarrassed. I didn't know what to say.
At least that's a
and
good
she
heckle.
stood up. She's like, "I'm gonna bang you in front of everybody," and I was like, "I don't know what to do with you." And then they lit me, and I got off stage, and it took me 3 years to get back in with them.
Oh, my God.
Really?
Yeah.
I did a gig in Victorville, California, folks. Victorville. Scott Everett Berger. You know, he looks a lot like you, Richy.
Everyone looks
Producing
like
shows. At the Ramada Inn in Victorville. And I got heckled so bad. This lady stood up, totally plastered, drunk, in Victorville. And basically she kind of collapsed, sort of fell. And this was crazy, but I jumped off the stage and I grabbed her, right? And I started to walk her out, and everyone started applauding like I was some kind of saint. And I jumped back on stage and I said, "Oh, you're giving me like I'm the nicest person in the world. I just needed to get her the hell out of here so I could finish my set." And it was like, yeah.
How old were you at that time? When did you start?
Oh gosh, just a few years ago.
Years.
Just a few short years.
when she was 20.
Right.
Well,
That was
23.
probably 10 years ago now when that happened. I used to perform. Dave, my partner,
Yeah.
is a comic, and
Yeah, I know
we
Dave.
performed together a lot. I was always better, of course. But, it's really weird when you perform with your significant other because, if one of you sucks and the other one's good, it's really weird. Your wife's not a comic.
No, she's only seen me half a dozen times.
She doesn't
Really?
even come?
Because I've met her
Not
half
really.
a dozen times.
No, you've seen me more than my wife, for sure.
No. I've seen her half a dozen times.
Oh.
I've seen her.
Wait, I always thought, why does she not come? Is she just like, that's work? She
I don't
doesn't,
know. I
you
mean,
know?
she would if we have kids, and it's just like it would be a date night, and it is kind of like
It's work.
it's work. Yeah, I come to just work stuff out usually, and just fine tune, and she comes to like shows that are kind of like.
Big deals.
Yeah.
Like Vegas, when you're getting heckled.
Yes, no, thank God she hasn't seen me in Vegas.
She's come here a handful of times. That's why I was saying that. She's been here.
Yes, she has.
You know, it's
How can
funny.
you not come, of all the places, how can you not come?
I love
That
Flowers is the best.
Oh,
I mean,
stop.
no,
Here's
by
the money.
far
Here's the money, I
best,
promised you.
The
Yeah.
best comedy club in LA.
Oh,
I haven't done them all, so but no. But I
Out
haven't
of
done
the two,
it's the best one.
between
that
that
I
and the
have
Echo
done.
Park open mic that I do.
No, but you know what it is? It's the best, I think, general regular people audience you get in LA, where it's like kind of
good point.
indicative of like if you were to go to like, you know, Raleigh, North Carolina, you're gonna get a similar audience there as you get here. It's like real people who just kind of want to come and laugh, have some drinks, and have a good time. You go to some of the other kind of places in town, and it feels a lot more crossed arms, a lot more like I don't really want to be here, or industry, or like you really have to. Even if they're enjoying themselves, they won't laugh, and it's just stiffer crowds out there, and it's a lot of like bullshit, you know, surrounding everything. That's why I love this place. It's just so.
I'd say that even the industry
mellow.
shows here, those audiences are more prone to laughter than at other clubs because it's kind of a happier environment in general. I think.
Well, what's interesting when you're talking about industry, though, is like what happened is starting to happen here because Kevin Hart was here the last 2 days, I have to say. And what's interesting about when you're saying industry is that actually the real industry comes like to see Kevin Hart, and they actually they buy tickets.
Yeah.
Like, and you know you're a great comic, right? When other comics buy tickets to see you. But I mean, I'm going to name drop because it was friggin' amazing. Kevin Hart was here Sunday, Monday. He came here because he asked to come here. So somebody told him, I don't know who it was, but it's kind of an interesting story. I didn't have a chance to ask him. So great, so nice, and talk about hardworking. Oh my God, the guy did 3 shows on Sunday. How many of you have done 3 shows a night?
On a Sunday.
Sunday, Monday.
And 3 shows on Monday, and
That's
not
7
only that,
hours of comedy.
the writers were in the room, so he's literally working on stage, working out new material.
Really, like with his writers?
Yeah, the writers were over there in the corner, and he's like,
that's
hey, what's the next, what are we going to put here, or did that punchline work? Or,
Oh, that's cool.
and then as soon as he was off stage, they went back in the green room, and the writers sat with him, and they're all working
So
on
he's
it.
working on like a new hour or special or something?
Yeah, and then he'd get back again, and you know, literally, you know, less than 60 minutes later, doing an hour again, 6 times in the last 2 days. It was a
So
marathon.
can I imagine
Crazy
him
tighter.
even just working through stuff? He must just kill.
He's
anyways,
a hard
right?
worker. Oh, he's so funny.
I mean, like he's kind of one of those guys. Like whatever he says makes me laugh.
yeah, he's a silly little guy. Like he's just a fun, silly, playful. You know, he clearly loves what he
He
does.
loves it when people
Yes.
pick him up.
So cute. I'm sorry, no.
He's like a Teddy Graham.
Dave and I did hug him, and we were all the same height. So that means I'm short. I don't know. But I'm talking about the work ethic. People don't realize how much goes into putting together an hour. You know,
Yeah, I don't think you
Jiffy
can be
put
a great
together a
comic
nice
without
20-minute set. Jiffy put together a 20-minute set in like 6 months. When he realized he was going to start doing road work with Josh, I'd say I've seen you probably at least once or twice a week for a good 6 months, right? Once,
Yeah.
What's your
and then
process?
You really built
Like,
a nice 20-minute set.
how do you build it up? How do you do that? Like comics always want to hear this.
My thing is you know, when you think about something on your own, you're driving and it hits you, you're like, oh, that's it. That's my next premise. But oftentimes I get stuck. So like maybe I'll go like 3 or 4 weeks without like a new joke, and I'll get so frustrated. And what I do is I go back to my Twitter because I write like 2 or 3 or 4 tweets a day, and some of my favorite bits have come from like okay tweets, like a tweet that didn't even get very many like favorites or retweets or like nobody said anything about it. I'm like, there's something in that premise, and then I just, you know, I'll scroll through my Twitter feed, find a tweet from like a month ago, and be like, I bet I could build more jokes around this, and then boom, it's my favorite bit. So I always go back to my Twitter because it's just like a running thought process every day of like what you're thinking about, what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Such a great idea. That's a great. It's like Twitter are the new headlines.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you used to go through the newspaper maybe and look at headlines, but
Yeah,
like
I was
you're.
going to say, that's in film school, that's my writing teacher. He was like, hey, you know, every day grab the newspaper, just without reading stuff, just clip out the headlines, put them in a shoebox. And when you have a writer's block, just open the shoebox and start writing punchlines for those headlines.
But Twitter's even better because you're actually seeing
'Cause you're
your
doing your
fans.
skits, too.
Well, you're writing it and you're seeing the response immediately.
Yeah.
Like people are telling you whether
Yeah, sometimes
it's
you
good
say,
or not.
wow, people are interested in
That
this.
like
That's crazy.
What's one of
Yeah.
your bits that have come off of that?
Well, like I remember like a good example is I did a tweet that said like I don't like when my wife texts for me because she doesn't have my texting voice down. That was it. It was simply because like my wife one day texted a friend back for me.
Ooh,
I looked at what she wrote and it wasn't what I said. And I'm like, I don't talk like that. So that was the tweet, and I forgot about it. And I went back and I'm like, And so then I built a story around it that was, you know, based off of what happened actually, where she texted a friend back for me. But you know, as we do, we make it funnier.
Sure.
And now it's like usually what I close with about the time my wife texted my friend back for me and made it all weird.
That's great. What is your Twitter?
At Jiffy Wild.
And that's Jiffy, like is
Jiffy.
Yeah, like you can
We're
use
going to be
spell.
headlining the Yoo-Hoo Room this weekend, just a reminder.
Yeah. And do you have a website too?
No, but my comedy musical duo, me and Josh Wolf, the Wild Wolf Band, it has thewildwolfband.com, and there's
Ooh,
And they've played here before.
I
yes,
know.
oh yeah, we have. That was awesome. We did
And yeah, Josh actually did NACA Nationals. I was there and destroyed it.
yes,
He went a little blue too. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But he got more bookings off of that.
he's so good. I learned.
Killed it,
I go on the road with him pretty much exclusively. I learned so much from him about just everything, on and off stage. You know, just the way he composes himself, even just in the club and on stage, and so it's good. We're actually going to a college in Boston. in a
Oh,
couple weeks.
perfect.
Northeastern College, I guess.
Yeah, there's so many.
I mean, there's like
There's
1,000.
over 4,000 colleges and universities in the country. Well, just universities, not counting community colleges. So, yeah. And then we're going into that NACA season right now. Crazy.
I
So-
know. I would love to do that if you guys are listening, NACA.
Oh, well, I'm a college agent, you know.
Are you?
Yeah. Surprise,
Wait a second,
surprise.
what? You're a college agent?
Well, I have some help. Shelley Newhart is also works with me, and she helps us do that. So
Oh wow.
Jiffy has obviously never listened to the podcast. Nor has no idea what we do.
No, he was quoting you earlier from
Yeah.
the podcast. He was like, hey, you remember that time Barb said this? And I was like, no, because I don't listen to the podcast.
Jiffy, the musical stuff would do really great out there, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I
love
actually
comedy
pursued
musical
it recently, and I was told I was too. The
Dirty.
songs were too dirty. But that's I just did a college 2 weeks ago, and it went fun. Like they loved the music.
Well,
They-
the trick
they
is
totally
always
don't
when you're
care.
doing the NACA and actually
somewhat
auditioning,
clean.
you have to be clean. But when you go to the school, then
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, because obviously the students want it. Though you never know what's going to happen. I mean, Sam Comro, one of the clients I just managed, went to Houston Baptist, and he does a Q&A where he lets the students ask him questions. And one of the students asked him, "What's it like having sex with Tourette's?" And the advisor stood up and said, "You cannot answer that question.
Really?
You will stop right now." And he
There
was
was an
like,
advisor there.
"Oh my God!" They called the cops and everything. It was a big deal.
What?
You should follow Samuel J. Comro's Twitter.
Oh my god.
Oh, I know. So it just depends where you're going and who's in charge.
Right.
People are so uptight.
I did a Catholic university in
Yeah.
Philadelphia with my buddy once on St. Patrick's Day. So only the nerds that had nothing to do went. And it was in a cafeteria. They basically only went there for free chicken fingers and
Right,
soda.
cafeteria.
That's all the time. Like, do you guys see the chicken
Right.
fingers and soda?
Free?
Like, yeah.
Here's the
Right.
photo
They didn't
machine.
care.
Here's the frozen yogurt.
And there was maybe 20 people in there and just
Who's
folding
this
chairs,
Jiffy
you
guy?
know. I was opening for my buddy, and then he was on, and he was just like, couldn't wait to be done. And he said something to one of the college girls about, oh, you don't give a shit. You're just gonna go home to your dorm and get finger blasted by some guy. And it just was super quiet. And then this guy in the back of the room, this college kid goes, inappropriate. But like totally earnestly. And I was like, this is where we are right now.
Yep.
Inappropriate.
Yep.
I felt,
I was in Philly a couple weeks ago.
That's so
At
weird.
Temple with one of our interns, Nat Margolis. It was a great show. It was awesome.
Where at?
At Temple.
Oh.
It was sick. I mean, it's a little dirty down there, but it's still a nice show.
Are you stoned right now, Richie?
No, but-
Okay. That was all right.
Sorry.
So listen, Jiffy, amazing. Have you ever given feedback to new comics? You know, you've talked about
No,
Josh
because I am a new comic, so
I know, but you're
I-
also headlining. You're doing some good shit out there.
I'm getting out there.
So, well, we do a segment on this podcast called Punch It Up,
Yeah.
where we ask new comics to come up and do a little time, like 3 minutes or so, and then we have them sit down with us and we give them some ideas, tags. You know, we see if we can punch up their stuff.
That's great. That's what I mean. That's what I did before stand up.
Who helped you?
I was writing for Chelsea. I was just
Oh,
writing
yeah.
jokes for her.
And who, other than Josh, is there anyone else who helped you out? quite.
A buddy named Chris Frangiola.
Oh, little buddy, Chris
Buddy.
Frangiola.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that last story was
A
about
little
him.
friend.
That
The
was.
way you used the word finger banging, I was like, oh, that sounds so familiar.
that was me. That was me and Frangiola.
Was it your last name?
Yeah, Philadelphia.
I was with him in Marco Island, and he did that bit to like this 80-year-old couple. He opened with it right in front.
Oh, he's so good at making
Finger
people
banging in nursing homes.
laugh.
That is like.
Yeah, no, the audience
that's
loved it. It was
really
amazing because it was like the oldest crowd ever, and they were with him. Because he comes up there and he's fucking nasty right in your face, and they were like, "This is who he is," and they went with him the entire time.
Well, if you believe it, if you believe
Yeah.
in finger banging, everyone else will
Blasting, I
too.
believe.
Just believe in it. Believe in it.
Blasting. Finger blasting.
Yeah, that's why I don't have fingernails. Oh. Anyway, come on, let's do some punch it up.
Yeah,
What do you guys
let's do
think?
Punch It Up.
Richie, who do we have two
We
comics
do. We
today?
have two great comics. The first one coming to the stage. Please give a warm round of applause for Christina Marie Leonard, everybody.
Right.
Christina
From Burbank? Where's she from?
Marie. We're about to find out.
Oh, you don't know?
No,
Oh.
she's gonna let
Good
us know right
research,
now.
Richie. Good
Thanks.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you all for having me. I'm Christina. I'm actually from Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh,
Mhm.
sorry.
No, I mean, yeah, it's okay. I'm working on it right now. I'm getting over it. I'm in therapy. But I'm an actress, so that's code for waitress in LA. Apparently, back in Nebraska, I was just actress. But when I moved here, I really didn't want to have a side job as a waitress. Like, I think a lot of actors complain about having to have that side job. But my therapist at the time, she told me that, waiting tables is acting. You smile, you memorize lines. Hello, how can I help you? Our appetizer, the steak lasagna. That sounds terrible. And you wear a costume. So, I was like, okay, that'll work. She was a really great therapist. She made sure to up my dosage as soon as I told her that I wanted to kill myself, and I thought it was because of my medicine. She's doing great. I'm sure she's lost many lives. I've actually been seeing therapists ever since I was in middle school. When I was 12, I got this bladder problem called interstitial cystitis. Being in middle school with a bladder problem and passing periods of 2 minutes, well, let's just say that's how I became goth. That, and I was an only child with no pets. My parents are actually moving out of my childhood home right now. They just moved into like this little temporary housing situation they've got. But meanwhile, they had these storage units, kind of like, if you guys remember Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, where at the final scene, they open up the storage unit and you realize that the Ark of the Covenant will never be found again. That's our storage unit. And all of the boxes in the storage unit at the time where they asked me to help me move boxes, they were labeled either Christina, I spelled my name with a CH, or Christmas decorations. And my dad's handwriting is, like, if you were to give a raccoon a pen, it would look better. So I just go in there and everything just looks like, Chris, squiggle, 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 squiggle. And then they finally removed the remaining boxes out of my room, and I realized that I was looking for a necklace, and there's a box of Trojan condoms. And I just said to my dad, why did you continue to move these into the storage unit? And then I realized that some of them were missing. And my parents were getting along better. But you know what? Ever since, like, growing up, going through the goth stage, everything, I've always kept one thing consistent, and that's that I've always been boy crazy. I'll admit it. I just always want, like, a little person to take with me everywhere. Which is probably why I'm single, because I call a boyfriend a little person to take with me everywhere. But when I was 4, I tried to make love potion for this boy named Daniel, and unfortunately he didn't drink it, or else I would have to tell you that I poisoned a 4-year-old. But I got better. I started making lists, and I started making lists, like we're doing sign language over here. For those of you listening, I'm making lists of the qualities I wanted in a boyfriend. When I was 10, it was like, likes my parents, is Presbyterian, doesn't swear. And then when I was 14, it was like, hates my parents, hates religion, loves Marilyn Manson. And then when I was 21, it was like, does, pot but doesn't do hard drugs, drinks a little bit, isn't an alcoholic, likes my friends but doesn't hit on them, likes my parents but doesn't love them, works out but isn't in better shape than me, funny but not funnier than me, supports my career but isn't obsessed with it, has his own plans but isn't obsessed with them, doesn't cheat on me, isn't married, doesn't have a girlfriend, lives in my state, and then I realize that person doesn't exist. So now I'm 24, and my list is short. It's just, is a robot. And I think that's my time. Thank you.
Grab that microphone, Christina, and come on over and see us. Awesome.
Good job.
How are you?
Good. How are you guys? It's exciting.
Good. So, well, you already told us your age, so you've only been doing comedy maybe 4 years?
A little under a year.
Oh, less than that.
wow.
Great,
Yeah.
great. Okay, good. Just started.
Yeah.
So, what, ditched college and a job and decided to go into the comedy, or what?
Well, actually, I did college in Nebraska too.
That was
until I didn't
really
want
just
to.
like intrusive right
It's
after
Omaha.
that.
No, I wanted to get out of there.
College.
She's
I
used to
wanted-
therapists.
Yeah,
She's used
yeah.
to it. I'm
You know,
good.
so far you're doing much better than the
Awesome,
last
awesome.
one. you
I
know.
love your voice and your style. Very,
Yeah.
very interesting to listen to.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
You know what? The whole long run at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are great. I think those always do well in crowds. Crowds always will reward you for that, for just putting the time to
Yeah.
like
Brilliant.
doing it and,
Yes.
and having the cadence. You'll always get rewarded for. So stick with that. And I mean, if you could somehow wrap it around at the end, maybe a callback at the end of that or something, would really maybe get you an applause. break.
Interstitial cystitis. If you could just like.
Oh yeah, it
throw
doesn't
that
mind a
back
girl with
in there.
interstitial.
Yeah.
That would get you your applause.
Bam.
Oh, good. Yeah, with
Yes.
the boyfriend thing.
Yeah, that's a great close.
I don't have one of those runny things.
I
I
know.
always said, my God, I need one of those because anytime I see a comic do that, they get rewarded. I'm like, God, I
But
need-
slow down. Well,
That
I
was
know
my note,
my
too.
note on it was it is great and it is funny and Jiffy's right, but like let us hear every moment and just don't stop. Just keep going. Just keep going. But make sure we can hear every word.
Good point.
Yeah.
On that
Believe in
same
it.
joke though, if you're a little more connected to it, instead of reading the monologue in your head, if you're thinking about the words that are being said and connect, it'll come out slower paced and more sincere.
Okay.
And that's what's going to make that joke kill, is rather than looking down, if you look up a little bit, that will help you thinking, if you picture it, they will too.
I get you.
Because, yeah, I was picking up words, and yeah, you had 3 minutes, but also realize when you're doing well, slow down. When you're doing poorly, slow down. Always slow down, and you're natural. The thing is, right now you're so comfortable. Up there, you were very comfortable, but there was a little bit of hesitation. You were kind of just running through your line. So even with 3 minutes, just slow down. No one,
She's only 24.
that's the perfect age.
Don't say your age.
Talking about-
Heads up. So
Okay.
this is my one rule. It's like you're,
I'm 24 too. I just
well,
turned.
if you're under 21, cool.
Shut up.
But once you're over 21, yeah, you could just say young lady. There's lots of
Okay.
ways you can refer to it without. But don't
But
pigeon.
now at my age,
So now that
just
you know,
say that.
yeah,
everyone who's heard this,
I'm-
ignore
yes,
my earlier
yeah.
statements.
She did not say
I was
her age.
kidding.
Hollywood. It was a joke.
When I
Right,
was younger,
exactly.
and then you
Thank
go
you.
a couple years later, and now my age,
Yeah.
you just take away age.
At that general age of
Hey,
youngishness.
I actually have this tag for you, or this
When I
punch,
was
if you want to
76.
use it.
So I totally want to hear
I've been dying to give it to someone, and so honestly, like when you said code for waitress, what if you say code for Uber driver? Because that's like the new waitress, isn't
Yeah.
it? For performers, I don't know. Because
No, it
Except
would
for
be,
she's
but I'm a
waitress.
terrible driver.
code for Uber. Well, that's
Well, that's a
perfect.
joke.
Then you can- yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
can
I could be an Uber
I
driver.
totally add that.
Except for I'm a horrible driver.
I mean, it's just an idea, but I've been like, someone has got to do this because all the actors and comedians are
Right
driving
now.
Uber or Lyft. You could say Lyft. Is Uber's
Well, she
funnier.
could because I think waitress it seems to be part of her personality.
She had a little more
But she could say
maternal.
code for a waitress, get a laugh, and then say I was of course going to be an Uber driver,
Right.
but turns out I suck at driving. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
So I stuck
even-
to waitressing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe you can sneak in a joke there for sure.
It's a pretty common thing, especially in LA. And your other material is so strong. Like I would just, if you're gonna do something, just do it short and quick.
Okay.
Like the whole waitress of obviously, I'm an actress type of thing. It's pretty used because that's what everyone does. Yeah, it's original to you, but it's a pretty common thing.
You know, my friend said, Frangiola actually told me this a long time. I don't know if I agree with it, but I'll just tell you because he's, a better stand-up than me. But he goes, early on, when I went on stage, I never told them what I really did because it kind of like took me down a notch. It's like, no, right now you're a comedian.
Right.
Be a comedian. Don't say I park cars for a living, because now all of a sudden you're the valet. And that was his note, that just like, to me, don't tell him what you really are, because you're a comedian and you should just be a comedian and own it. But I don't know if that's true or not.
But you
Because
also have
I
to
think
talk
it
about your
depends.
life experience.
Right, I know, that's where it's an
Yeah.
interesting. It's an interesting.
I get the point, but I do think that it's this is why I went to comedy. Or you can actually talk about your experience, but then connect it.
I don't know if I agree with what I just said. I'm
But
just
it's okay.
being a
It's
vessel.
a good
but-
topic. It's
If
a
I
good talking
pretend.
point.
If I'm like it's in the past.
Are you working as a waitress now? Oh, she
Maybe,
doesn't want to
I
say.
might
She doesn't want to
be.
say her age. She might be. For the sake of this podcast, she is not.
Right.
She right now, but she might later. Just
It's
because she
been
needs money.
involved in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Who got you into comedy?
It was actually, I was doing improv and stuff in high school, college when I moved here, but then it was like an LA casting thing that I did my first, there was like a thing that was like, do 5 minutes of being funny on stage. You think,
Oh.
yeah, and I said, okay, well, I want to try it. I was always afraid before.
I
And was
think
like,
you can do it.
Yeah.
Totally.
I
I love the
think-
goth stuff too. I think
Yeah,
it's a
that
great
was
angle.
funny. That
I think
was
you
funny.
can
Yeah, that's
really
great. That's
mine
funny.
that world.
Even
Cool.
more. You
Oh,
just
totally.
barely touched it, and I thought, agreed, Jiffy. It's like there's definitely something more there.
It's unique. Whereas Richie says everybody's a waitress,
Yeah.
comic, or waitress actress. Not very many goth people I see on stage.
Yeah, but can we seriously talk about interstitial cystitis or whatever?
What is
it
it?
Yeah.
What is this? You got to tell me more about this. Is this like bedwetting on steroids or what?
No,
I mean,
Say it again.
It's called interstitial cystitis.
I
It's
can't even
so,
say it right.
It took me a long time to get comfortable with talking about it, but now I look back on it and it's like anything in life. Like sometimes the saddest things, you look back at them and they're like the most hilarious
Wait, so
moments
sometimes
ever.
I have to pee so bad that I pee myself. Like seriously, I cannot hold it. Is that it?
Well, I never
I
actually.
just peed right now.
I'm just asking.
No, I totally. I've realized there's a
Need
lot
to
of
know.
people with that like it's a
Bladder
thing we can talk
problems.
about. You know,
Let's
it's
talk about
okay.
it.
There's groups.
But I never actually did
There's
because I would just.
interstitialdating.com
And you're
Yes.
where you can meet other people with the same afflictions.
It could just be everyone that has that disease.
IS.
A dating site. It's like Christian Mingle, but interstitial mingle.
IS.com.
You gonna get coffee?
Now
I'm
you're
sorry.
writing material.
You would never be able to have a good date because one of you would be in the bathroom the whole time.
What if you just dated someone who had it though? Then you'd both go to the bathroom at the same time.
You could just have co-ed bathrooms.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
Sounds like
There's
college.
your bit.
Yeah.
Test on that.
Hey, what are you doing later? Probably pee.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping. Yeah, then what happens when you drink beer?
Oh God. So it would have to be AA and interstitial together.
I love it. I thought that was really.
That
I've
is-
never heard anyone talk about it.
I've never heard that either.
And also, what
I
I
still can't
love about
pronounce
it is that she's young and pretty and attractive and stuff, and that actually knocks it. I have a thing about women, and when they're too attractive, you know, they're kind of fakey. But you didn't have that, and I think that brings that. It just shows us that you're a real person, and you can still be attractive. I mean, I am obviously,
Nah.
but you know.
She's kidding. I have a hair lip.
But when you bring up stuff like that, it's so awesome because it's like, oh my God, she's a real person too, you know?
Cool.
So,
Congratulations on being real.
what else, you guys? There's so
She's from
much.
Oklahoma.
Oh, the only thing about I did have one little other thought about the condom thing when you said about your dad and
Oh.
your parents.
Confused me a little bit.
Yeah, I thought you could tell us how many condoms were gone, like 100.
Well, how do you know?
Gross.
Did you count all the condoms? It was a little confusing to me.
Yeah, her parents.
Like, why do you know how many condoms your dad has?
Yeah, why do you know?
My idea was that it was
Oklahoma.
full at first, but that was I need to work that bit.
My tag on that thought was, you know how like 16-year-old guys always keep a condom in their wallet? Your dad, the old man, always keeps a few in his storage locker. Like that's his wallet.
Oh,
You know.
So
So
it-
and again, if the moment comes on, he needs to drive.
cases.
Yeah, a few
I
cases.
thought it was in the storage in the facility because that way your mom wouldn't know how many there were. Like, you know, my ex-girlfriend would check how many fucking condoms I had when she come home from like a
Because
weekend
we're
away.
only using one like every 2 months.
So when I was
what
cheating
are
on her, I had to
these
get
others?
another type of condom. I couldn't use Trojans.
Good.
Wow, lots of good stuff there.
Yeah, actually, that is dad condoms is a great. world.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy, but I like it. Interstitial cystitis. She's got dad in the condoms. This is some good
got
shit.
Yeah, that is all really. Write like 20 jokes on each of those,
I have.
and you'll come up with like 3 that hit.
And she's from Omaha. Who even knew there were condoms in Omaha?
Who knew there were comics
There's
in
so
Omaha?
many. Those people have kids right and left.
I have a whole web series about Omaha goths
yes.
with my it's
Yes,
called
yes,
Loch Ness. It's called Loch Ness, the web series about a high school folk metal band. Because I actually was also in a metal band while I was goth. So right now I've got these little vlogs I'm doing as my goth girl character and her mother that she hates.
Wait, so now you're post-goth.
Yeah, I'm kind of like,
You
but
ditched
sometimes it comes out. Like I did a Donna's Diary earlier today, so that's why I've got my little
What
like
is that?
ram
A
head.
what?
Sounds creepy.
Jesus.
I don't know.
Madonna's Diary?
Yeah, my
Circles
character.
underneath someone's bed. And
It says you like no I just kind of put a bunch of black makeup
She's a
on
witch.
pretend I'm 18 and then I do a little vlog where I complain
sounds
about
like
my
one
mom.
of my fantasies.
This is.
Where's she turned? She
Ooh.
turned 18.
Donna's Diary. I've never heard that either.
Check it out on YouTube.
Laugh louder.
Donna Diaries.
Wait, is that a thing or is it exclusive to you?
It's just a character from the web series.
Okay.
But the web series isn't out yet,
Oh,
so
so
we're
you
trying to
wanna
be
talk
like,
about it?
no, totally, I can talk about it.
So
It's just-
watch for this.
Yeah, watch for it. It should be
Wow.
funny.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a good
Good
time
job.
today.
This was awesome.
Oh,
Better than I ever could have.
One more question. Have
Thank
you
guys.
use a Ouija board?
No, but I got grounded once for 2 months for having a seance.
That's a good
You
topic.
got grounded for having
My
a
mom
seance?
was really religious. Like she would put Bible books in my room. I'd wake up to them.
Oh.
A
So,
seance.
A
so wait,
seance.
wait.
We
did
didn't
you-
even see any ghosts. It wasn't worth it.
That sucks. If you would have
I know.
seen ghosts, at least they worth it. Right?
Yes, I think so. I think you're right. Like I
Like
didn't.
Pac-Man ghosts. That's what I
Uh-huh.
always see. Just like Pac-Man ghosts. Like the friendly ones.
It's the only video game I can play.
Christina!
Thank you guys so much.
We'll see you at Flappers again soon. All right, Richie, do you have time for one more?
Yeah, we have perfect time. Your next comedian coming to stage is, I believe, FU
Oh,
enrolled. He's a Flappers University All-Star. Please give a warm round of applause for Skip Beals, everybody. Skip. Skippy.
Skippy and Jiffy. Oh, this is a good
Oh,
show.
no.
Yeah, we talked about that beforehand. Peanut butter battle.
Yep.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. My name is, in fact, Skip. I just wanted to make sure that that was clear and that Richy didn't screw up my name. My parents did that. Clearly. Actually, to be honest, it was my sister's. When I was born, well, I'll give you a little backstory. My real name is Halleck. So Skip is a nickname, and I relate to Jiffy on that note. When you get a nickname, you're kind of stuck with it. And so, Halleck is a family name, and that's weird too. And my dad has the same name, and he goes by Hal. So that was kind of the safe alternative was already taken. And my sisters were convinced that if I grew up going by the name Halleck, that I would be teased. And that I needed a cool nickname, like Skip. Because that was some sort of, foolproof option. No, I got teased all the time. On the playground, I'd always get Skippy Peanut Butter, or Skippity Doo-Dah, or Skip the Nazi Youth Lookalike. I got all those all the time. And I know, I understand where my sisters were coming from. If I grew up saying that my name was Halleck every day, something awful would have happened. Probably like 50% chance that I would have turned out to be like one of these school shooters. You know what I mean? That joke does better over summer break. I should note that one. It's fall now. But yeah, I got teased all the time, and it was hard. And now that I'm older, it's still hard because I have to go to Starbucks every day and then say no, it's Skip. Yeah, as in skip to my loo. Yeah, that's my name. It's especially hard to have this name when I'm trying to meet girls. They're always disappointed to know that my name is Skip. And I'm disappointed too, We'll be having I'll meet a girl, at a friend's wedding or at a bar or something, and things will be going well, and then I have to get to that point where I actually have to introduce myself, and then I fall apart. You know, I almost say it like it's a question. Like, my name is Skip? Can you deal with that? Because I feel like I should get that out of the way. It does get worse. But no, it's kind of like dropping a bomb, you know, in the conversation. The girls totally blank. They don't know what to say because they have a million things running through their head. You know, one of them being, can I tell my friends I'm dating a Skip? Mom and Dad, I met the guy in my dreams. His name is Skip. I think what they're really asking themselves is, can I say the name Skip in bed and achieve orgasm afterwards? My parents are kind of giving me a hard time. I'm getting a little bit older, and they want me to get married and have kids, and, you know, I'm kind of pushing back on that. My dad was like, fine, okay, fine. He waited for my stepmom to leave the table, and he said, if you're not going to get married, that's fine, Skip. But you gotta, you know, you get out there more, you know? You could be getting laid a lot more. And I was like, well, then you shouldn't have signed off on Skip. If you'd have nicknamed me Zach, we wouldn't be having this conversation. All right, that's my time. Thank you.
Thanks, Skip.
Yeah.
Come over here and sit on the couch. Skip to Skip.
You can't hear it. You can't see it on the podcast, but this kid's got great hair.
Like put like
Great hair.
Oh God, I can see myself in this kid's hair.
Yeah.
I'm fucking killing it, Skip.
It's
Your dad would be
perfect.
like,
His hair is perfect. Wow, interesting.
I loved it.
Skip, how long have you been doing comedy? You're on the
Like
newer
6
side?
months.
Wow, great
some movies
confidence.
today.
Oh, thank you.
No, seriously, you both today very strong styles. You know, like you don't seem like pussies. As
No, no,
I
good
seemed like you
voices.
skipped
Right,
some time.
Oh, jeez. I will say this a
Sorry.
weird. It's interesting about the name though. I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna help. I think, but it's a little too much, Skip.
Okay.
Like, even if you were doing a 3-minute set, I'm not sure unless every joke is like, yeah, you know, like drop dead, that you can actually do this much Skip material.
Okay.
And I also really don't get a frustration about it. And maybe here's an idea. Where does Skip work? So all you did was, you know, so what, the only way that the name Skip works is like
When I'm an uncle.
game show host, elementary school teacher, uncle, you know, whatever.
Welcome to
like,
the stage, Skip
right?
Beals.
Stones
Like,
across the
yeah.
pond.
Yeah,
Just skip them.
yeah.
That's nice.
Maybe name all the places where Skip actually works.
Your
Okay.
girlfriend's birth control. That
Right.
doesn't work.
Just a little format thing. Like that way maybe you can get it all out and sort of do even almost a list of it, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Anyway,
idea.
that was just my
That's a good.
first jump in. But
Yeah. I wanted to hear more about Halleck.
Halleck.
Alec.
What the
I
fuck?
had that too. What the Halleck?
Yeah.
I've had a Halleck of a fucking day.
You didn't
today,
mention
okay?
your dad goes by Hal, so you're
Oh,
could
you're
have gone
Halleck
by
the
Lick.
second? Are you Halleck the second?
I'm the third.
You're
Halleck the
Come on,
third?
that's where the joke is.
That's they think that name is so good they have to keep passing it down.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Although
Like
my
they
dad
nailed
has
the
a
name.
nickname, my
We can't do
grandfather has
better.
a nickname.
Yeah.
No one owns
Steve's
it, but
not
they keep
better.
on fucking
I
naming
can't
it.
wait for Halleck
Jeremy,
the 22nd.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Well, it's almost
Dad's
like
gonna have great hair.
What is your... What?
Your dad have a nickname?
Hal.
Oh, okay.
Just Hal.
Yeah. So he lucked out.
But then you could have been Lick, right? That would have been the alternative, right?
Oh,
You should also
Halleck.
take
Girls
Halleck.
like that.
You got half
You should be proactive about getting yourself a new nickname. That's what I wanted to hear. Like, I wanted to hear, okay, I've got a shitty nickname that I don't like,
Wait.
but here's what I'm going to do.
Well, but like, listen, this is so weird because like you have Richard and that's Dick. How does that work, right? And then where the fuck does Skip come from? Halleck. I don't see
Yeah, where
any
did Skip come from?
connection
What was
to
it?
Halleck.
Well, I've done some research over the years because I wanted to
You had to go to
find
Ancestry.com
out what
to find out
the
about-
fuck went wrong
Yeah,
that
I
day.
mean, Halleck to Skip? Come on.
So my sisters were older. They're like 8 and 9 years old when I was born, and they were really into this thing called the Preppy Handbook,
Oh yeah.
which is some.
The
It's
80s.
like the Onion. It's like
It's
an
from the 80s.
80s journal.
We wore
about-
eyes on shirts.
The
and,
bad guys from
I
the
was a
80s movies.
total
The douchebags
preppy.
from the 80s movies.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
You,
I was-
you know what? You kind of
look
look
like
like a
this.
douchebag.
I always kid my friends. I'm like, if I had come to Hollywood in the 80s, I would have been in Karate
Ski
Kid.
Patrol. That's what you're.
Lick the leg,
Penn.
Johnny.
Yeah,
You actually
exactly.
look like a little bit of young Sean Penn too.
You ever seen the movie Rad?
Yes, the BMX movie.
But he's smarter.
Uncle, yeah,
Yes.
Aunt Becky from Full House is in that movie.
Yes.
You'd be like who's the Dave Coulier a little bit on Full
okay,
House.
okay,
You
good
know,
call, good
young,
call.
young.
You've given me some interesting ones.
Another guy who gets laid a lot by Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
She went down on him in a theater.
Normally I get like wimpy Matt Damon, but I'll take
that's good.
I'll
Matt
take
Damon.
Dave Coulier. I guess.
No, that was a bit of a
It
demotion.
was. I'm sorry.
He
He
thinks
looks
he's
like
really
the
Matt
goofy
Damon.
one from that show.
I wrote down like when your parents use the name Halleck like when your parents are yelling at you. You know, like
I
when
think
you're
of a
little.
hairlick. What's it called? When
Like,
you-
Halleck!
Oh, Halleck.
Calic.
Oh, a Halleck.
Yeah, or Deerlick. Like things were going through my mind when you said Halleck.
I used, as a kid, I would be like, you mean like when they would my
How would they
parents
teach
used
you?
to call me Smart Alec.
Oh, smart Halleck.
Did kids find out your name was Halleck? And how did
I would go to the teacher the first day
Halleck
of
is
school
worse than
before
Skip.
attendance was taken, and I would say like, call me Skip.
An aggressive youth.
Yeah. But you know you're
I was
desperate
scared
when it's
fear how
like
she was fucking
either
up my name.
Skip or Halleck. I was just like, why not Kevin?
Right, but wait a minute. Who really picked Skip? That's the part I'm missing.
My sister.
Oh, your sisters just said you're going to be.
They just started calling you Skip.
Lulu, Skip to Molly.
Professional name, like 7-year-old girls probably.
Yeah.
Professional name givers.
They
Like
know
people
how to
you
know
should
it.
never trust with a name. Or his, like, you know,
Right,
that's terrible.
Yeah.
but funny.
He gets it though. Jiffy.
Jiffy, I do.
Right.
It's a conundrum. Sometimes, you know, like you say, introducing yourself, you know, do you ever like try to make it cooler, like Skip Dog or something like that?
No.
Okay, I'm going here.
I should know.
Can you make Skip cooler?
Skip Dog.
Skippy.
Yeah, dog.
My name's Skip, bitch.
Skipper. I'm
So
a
they-
skipper. Skipper.
That doesn't sound
No.
cool.
Skipper is
Skip-a-doo.
Barbie's sister,
Right.
and I
That's
did not
that's
like that
funny.
one. I mean, I had like 20 minutes.
You
of
have
skip
20 minutes.
material, you know.
But I think Barbara was right. Like you do have a really unique and good point of view of the world. I kind of wouldn't mind hearing a minute or two of Skip, and then I want to hear what you think about Trader Joe's or anything.
Yeah.
You know, stupid that.
It's funny because that's what we pointed out, but we've been talking about your name.
I know. It's true.
I know it is very interesting.
We
Skip.
should have skipped
Yeah,
that
but I'm
topic.
going to jump to this. So here's the topic I'm going to jump to, Skip. I know you've heard this before, but like here's just a tag. Like when you say, like I tell girls, and it's really hard to meet girls or guys when they find out. I'm just saying, there's a little something there. You know, do people think you're gay? They do. Come on, guys.
Apparently,
pick
one
up on
person
you.
thinks you're gay.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I'm doing this. I'm not doing
Guys
this.
love you. I guarantee it. Right?
I can see that.
Oh yes. Do gay men think I'm gay? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. That's what I'm saying. So maybe have some fun with that.
Okay.
Because
topic.
you're not, but, you know, you are named
It's a good
Skip.
thing they don't know.
That's what I love throwing out
It's a
my
good thing
name.
they didn't know your real name, right?
Right, that's when it works.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
named
I'm Skip.
Skip. No, I see you
hello,
later.
Yeah.
Skip.
Okay. I like
If you said
that.
Halleck,
Right,
you'd be
right.
like, yes,
Oh, I got
we
one.
will.
I'm going to have a halleck of a good time with you tonight.
How do you like to be
Yep.
licked, Halleck?
I
Left
think,
or right, up or down?
I think you look like a game show host.
Yeah, let's give him the George Gray jacket.
Billy Bush. That's it.
You're a young
Billy
George
Bush.
Gray. Oh, Billy Bush.
But this is weird. We've named like 20 people he looks like.
I
It
know.
reminds us
And the
of.
listeners have no idea.
Right. So
Now they have the weirdest looking.
Well, you can check us out at flapperscomedy.com. We have we're doing it on.
on the YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
on the
You can
YouTube
watch
channel.
a clip of it. And you can see us drinking beer, which Jiffy
I already
has
finished mine.
already finished his.
Like a
So, yes, we're having the lovely Stella Artois, and they do not sponsor us, but, you know, we buy their beer.
Yeah,
So
maybe
it's-
after this
it
podcast
sounds
they
like
will.
a plug.
Yeah.
Anyway, Skip, very interesting. And you're in classes right now at
I took
Flappers
the
University?
beginning class here, and yeah, I just got done a couple months ago. So.
What are you working full time in the comedy, or are you?
No, I work
Have a
during the
job?
day at a marketing company. I used to be an actor full time, and once I stopped playing
The
high
80s.
school in the 80s, that's right. God, if I moved here in the 80s, Back to the Future,
Yep.
Karate
Yeah, I was gonna
Kid,
say,
you
from
name
surfboards
it.
to skateboards.
Yeah, but then you'd have Parkinson's by now. So.
Oh.
Bottom
Yeah, it wouldn't be Skip, it'd be Twitch.
Ah.
But yeah, no, so I have a day job, and so I do this at night.
Great.
Yeah.
Release.
Yeah, it makes everything else easier. Like if I have a sales call or a conference call, it's like I just bombed in Burbank last night, so it can't go worse than that. Yep.
Excellent. Well, anything else for you guys have for Skippy, Jiffy? Maybe you need a last name like Wild. Skip Wild.
Yeah,
Skip
that does-
not so wild. Skip.
I was going to say, if you need to break it up a little bit, or do a little more act outs to slow things down and break things up. Otherwise, it's just kind of like an ongoing, you're doing just mostly skip material. So if you're going to do that, you need to break it up a little bit.
Okay.
Well, where's the misery is what I'm going to get to right now. Like, what's the problem? You look perfect. I'm just going to say that. Like, right, you look like you have a great life. You're attractive. No, seriously, it's a thing when people see attractive people on stage. Anyone listening, be with me on this. We don't like you, right?
People hate me.
That's what. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've made myself public enemy number one. Like if I come out and like, what's the deal with black people driving? Like, you know what I mean? Or
Well, there isn't a
No.
deal with black people.
Wait,
It's the
that's-
movie theaters that's the problem. So,
But that's totally observational. I'm talking about Skip. What about Skip? Like, what's your problem? What's the issue? Remember, comedy's about what's wrong with us.
what's
not
your
what's right with us.
interstitial?
Right, what's your
Judge you.
bladder control?
Man, well, okay.
Let us know.
My name is Skip. Number one, that's hard. Like people
Well-
do not.
All right, we're
Well,
past
you know,
Skip.
your name's Barbara. Like every time, like I'm embarrassed
You're not
every
that
time I
pissed
have
about
to introduce myself, which is a scenario we face every
agree with
day.
you, Skip.
Yeah.
I feel you. I understand both.
You've only had the
because-
name for 5 years.
Listen, we can't. It's impossible to complain as a white man in this country. But the one place that is hard for an average white man is on stage in a comedy club because you have nothing to talk about other than your privilege. Like you're not fat, you're not
Yeah,
black, you're not gay, you don't,
But you
have
got
an
something.
ear missing.
There is a
There is
vulnerability
something.
that you're not.
What's
letting
the
in.
problem?
Right, that's why, yeah. But
Give us
I think
some
Skip
shit.
is cool.
Yeah.
I think that's a great end to him being
Right.
likable and like, oh, this guy, yeah, that sucks. He's good looking, but his name's Skip. That sucks.
Right.
And then I think maybe find another thing.
But what? You have a toe fetish? What? Something. What's the problem?
That's not a bad thing.
I mean,
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's just complain. You look great. You look like you have a great life. You look, I know. But he's like, so tell me.
You look like something
Give it
I'll
up.
eat whipped cream off later.
Well, I should have been born earlier, so I came here in the '80s, and then I would have been famous by now. But
You want to be famous? That's your
Is that what you
drama.
want?
Well, fame would lead to like a comfortable lifestyle. I guess.
What?
I'm
You're
after that.
broke? Then you're broke.
No, it's
See
to
what
be
I'm-
able to afford cocaine that I'm doing.
If you had a son, would you name him Halleck?
No,
Oh, come on, you got to go for number 4.
no.
You
The,
would break
the
it?
third time's the charm.
Wow, you're breaking the spell.
Do you even want kids?
I would. I have nieces and nephews, and that is something that I'm good at, is being an uncle. So I think that maybe I would enjoy having kids, but also being an uncle is great because you get all that attention and affection without any of the responsibility,
Agreed. Love it.
of feeding
That's
them.
some real shit there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be an uncle.
See, so Skip helps you because you don't want to get in a relationship then, really, right?
No,
You
I
don't
do.
want to-
No, I do. Just because I don't know if I want to have kids or not, but I definitely, yeah.
making all these
Skip
assumptions
is like, I don't know, do you guys watch
I'm
football?
digging.
You want to have kids?
I'm doing my
kind
job.
of. So you don't ever want to be in a relationship.
I'm trying to find that shit.
So you're gay, right, Skip?
Right, you're gay, right? I went there first, and he didn't give it
Well, you
up.
have nieces and nephews. That must mean your grandparents thought you were the worst person. Like you're just making.
Just playing from behind with the name Skip when meeting women.
Do you ever do? Oh, my name is Skip. Like, do you ever? Are you? If you're embarrassed about it, what do you?
No,
do?
I hit it hard,
I'm
like
just
at the end.
You know what? I would just skip over your name. Really, that's what I would do.
That's what
Thank
his
you.
parents did.
I'll
His
be here
parents
all
skipped over the
every
name.
week.
They were like, "What are we gonna do? Let's just continue it. We don't even want to think about." What are your sisters' names?
Karen
Okay.
and Neva.
And Neva. That's a pretty name.
All right.
It's like Brian Kiley when he talks about how his brother Vivian.
You know what you should do, Skip? You should just literally come out with a name tag. Like you should just have your name tag right there, like Disneyland. Just say Skip right on it.
And then the girls
Right,
just
so
skip
like-
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
the
wear a
other
name tag
place that
everywhere.
Skip works at Disneyland. It works as an elementary school teacher, game show host, and works as a Jungle
Librarian.
Cruise director or Jungle Cruise tour guide
Yeah,
at
TMZ
Disneyland.
tour guide.
Doesn't it? It does. It
I
does.
actually went to Disneyland recently, and the Jungle Cruise tour guide told some pretty solid jokes.
Yeah, I know, they're good.
I was like pretty impressed.
And his name is Skip, right?
You're sitting there writing it down. You walk up to him, give him $20, be like, "Here, you
I was
go,
like,
take that."
I'm taking this shit.
That's fine now.
All right, you guys have anything else for Skip?
It was a good job.
Is Skip off? We're gonna let him skip off and get out of here, right? Skip?
All right, thank you for having me, guys.
That was fun. Come on now, you can't expect us not to harass you with those blue shoes. Look at that. Look at that.
New Balance.
Right? Those are some cool ass
How
shoes.
can you skip without blue
Right,
shoes?
right. Oh, wow, Jiffy, was that awesome or what?
That was fun.
I mean, I thought it went in a flash.
Yeah, it did go quick, didn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
our hour is over already.
I love the comics.
Yeah, they were
they were great.
fantastic.
Yeah. You guys are awesome.
And you can see them here at Flappers Comedy Club. We have lots of opportunities for comics, of course, as you all know. You can go to our website, flapperscomedy.com, go to the comedians, drop down and see all the opportunities for comics.
We have some great shows this week. We got Tom Clark out in Claremont at our other location. We have Paul Agata from Comedy Central here in the main room Friday and Saturday. 8
From
o'clock.
Hawaii,
From
Paul
Hawaii.
Agata. Very funny.
Very Asian looking. And then we have the hilarious Jiffy Wild in our Yoo-Hoo room this
What, what?
weekend. You know him from Chelsea Lately and After Lately.
We gotta
He's
get
going to be here
Skippy.
tonight.
We gotta get Skippy to open for Jiffy.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a really fun show.
Why don't we just get them on the phone at
Jiffy
the
and
same
Jiffy
time?
show.
They can just both talk about their names.
I like it.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much to everyone for listening. We'll be back again next Tuesday for another exciting episode of the FlappCast. Out. I did it again, didn't I? No, Jiffy, thank you. That was great. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you
I
guys
hope
were
that was
awesome.
fun.
Letting us dissect you.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
it was
probably
very
uncomfortable.
playful and silly. It was. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was.
No, I said what was uncomfortable?
By the way, it's Skippy, Christine.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Christmas, Skippy.
Love connection.
Right? See? But I
We're
see
going
what
on
I
a date
did.
right now.
All right. I hope that was fun and helped. That was
That was great.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
You guys.